Hey, Paul Peck here again. Today I'm going to show you how I skip trowel that crazy ceiling after I repaired the tape joints. Even though they yellowed after I did the repairs, I'm just going to go ahead and skip trowel this whole ceiling and use a stain blocking primer. Let me go ahead and recap for the new viewers, and I'll get right back to the skip troweling after I do that. I just pulled down the tape joints, and everywhere there was joint compound on the joints, the tape came down and most of the joint compound came down. I asked a question on the videos and also in a couple of my shorts, and I got all kinds of comments of why they thought this joint compound and tape was coming down. Everything from the mud was frozen, they thinned down the joint compound too much, they used hot mud and paper tape, which some people say is a no-no. Let me know in the comments what you think's going on. But what I did is I went ahead and just pulled down every single tape joint, scraped all the loose parts off so I could retape it. I used my banjo and some fiber fused drywall tape to do the finishing again of these tape joints. Goes pretty quick with the banjo. Got the big flat out of the way, and then I just went around and did all the butt joints.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of these type of videos.
Just kind of wipe it down, get it smooth so the second coat goes real nice. Next, it was time for the skim coating. I used an all-purpose joint compound. I didn't thin it down much because when you're going over a texture like skip trowel texture, you want to keep most of the body of the joint compound. If you mix it too thin, you're going to have to do multiple skim coats. I'm using a 14-inch drywall taping knife and some USG all-purpose joint compound. All right, got everything skim coated except the tape joints because those weren't quite dry yet. So I'm going to go ahead and skim coat those, doing the butt joints first, just getting it up there and smoothing it out. You don't want to pile it up because naturally there's going to be a small bump wherever you add the tape on a butt joint. So you just go over it and get it nice and smooth. Then it's time to get the long flat. And I also showed a secret feature of a drywall taping knife to get perfect factory tape joints every time. There's a concave side and a flat side of the taping knife, so that works out perfectly when you're finishing or repairing tape joints. I'll leave a link to the secret feature of a drywall taping knife at the end of this video in the end screen. And there's the whole skim coated ceiling. Back to the skip trowel texturing, I'm using a Hawk and a 14-inch drywall taping knife and a scooper that I picked up off of Amazon. I will leave a link to my Amazon store that has all the equipment that I use down below in the description. Basically, I'm just going to get the skip trowel up there, and then I will knock it all down once I've got probably a 4 or 5 foot section done. I usually just run out what I have on the Hawk and then go ahead and knock it all down so there's no bumps or indentions going on. You can see the ceiling has some ridges on it from the skim coat because I did not sand it, and I only did one skim coat over the skip trowel texture on the original ceiling. But that's a good thing about skip trowel. You don't have to do any sanding, and actually those ridges kind of give the ceiling a unique look. I love skip trowel because it's like a Mediterranean look to it, and so it goes good here in Florida and other places around the country. I'm barely putting any mud on the knife, just probably about a 1-inch wide spot, and then I'm light pressure and not much of an angle. I'm just gonna have to watch it and see. It's kind of hard to explain exactly, but you can see there's not much of angle on the knife at all. Pretty light pressure. You got to go over each spot a couple of times, and you can see how it starts to grab more and more. Honestly, I think this is a great DIY texture if you're doing your own ceilings. A lot easier than spraying a knockdown or anything like that, and a lot less messier. When it dries and gets painted, it's not as drastic of a look. It's kind of a subtle texture look on a ceiling, but you always want to prime and paint it. And while you're skip troweling, you always want to keep an eye out for any bare spots, and you can just go over that or dab a little bit of mud on it, and when you knock everything down, it'll blend right in. You want to pay special attention to the corners and not get a bunch of mud everywhere. There's a spot. I'll just hit that and use up this rest of the compound and then knock it all down. This goes pretty fast. Love that about the skip trowel texture as well. You can see I've run the mud that I put on the hawk, and I'm going to go ahead and knock it down now, going the opposite way that I applied it. Light pressure again, you just want to be sure to have enough pressure to make it all nice and consistent and take down any chunks or bumps. All right, I'm not going to do the whole ceiling for you, but I'm going to show you this last little section. That way you can get a feel for going up against the corners, and stick around because I'm going to show you how this whole ceiling turned out after I skip troweled. The skip trowel goes super fast actually. I think it took me about less than 30 minutes to skip trowel this whole ceiling, and it's a pretty good size ceiling as far as length. It's only a couple sheets wide, but about 2 or 3 12-foot sheets of drywall long. Again, I'm paying special attention to the corners. I'm looking for spots. That's when I know if I need to go over it. But if it's a small spot, you don't want to keep going over it, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up getting a big blob. I'll leave a link in the description to a whole playlist of skip trowel texture videos, from mixing it to applying it, and all the materials you need. And there's the skip troweled ceiling. Once that dries, it's going to dry same color as the joint compound underneath, because I used all-purpose joint compound from the same manufacturer, USG. Let me know down below in the comment section if you have any questions, and also what you think about the skip trowel texture.
And if you want to catch the next video or any of my upcoming videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button now in the center of the screen to keep up with all my videos. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll leave some of my most popular video links down below in the description. Thanks so much for watching.